Hello everybody. In today's video, don't you ever just wonder what taking a L for the team is like? What being the loser is like? It really does suck living something like that. And speaking of sucking, at least of today anyway, soccer. Miami lost to LA 1-0. And if you know anything about the time I'm saying this in, or the time I released the video on, which was on the same day, most likely on the same day as I am recording this on, it has Messi and, what do you call him? Lionel Messi, something like that. He's not like a one of those players where it's like you can just score on the guy, you know? Because unless you're a really, really good player, you can't just go goal, you know? Like, yeah, you have to put in the work. But it was 1-0. 1-0. Well, to be fair, soccer is a low-scoring game. But this is Messi we're talking about. Okay? Like, he's not like some weak player. Like, he might be a little guy, sure, but he's definitely not new to the sport at all, you know? Like, he's been playing it for years and years and years. And also, he's like, with the years and years, he's probably getting older, and so he's not as good as he used to be. Because MLS is mostly viewed as, like, unless you're more of, like, American player, it's mostly viewed as a retirement league where, like, really good players will spend, like, their last decade or two in the, like, good decade or two in that, time of being there. However, some players only be there for, like, a couple of years. Well, anyway, yeah, it's a odd day for Miami fans right now, and LA fans, they're going crazy for this because it's big in LA. Like, it's been growing like crazy recently in LA. Like, the popularity in California is just crazy for soccer. I can't really speak for the rest of the country on that one, since I don't really know. But outside of Florida and California, there isn't much of the soccer culture, unless you excuse women's soccer culture, because that's a pretty big thing. But for men's side, there's not a lot, but it is catching on. It is starting to catch on, especially with pro. Whereas if you would have said that 20, 30 years ago, there was very little competition and very little things within pro. Like, there were a lot of colleges and stuff involved with it, but there was no, like, college that was, like, were a purely, like, soccer college. Like, you didn't really have a lot of colleges like that, even if you lived in a big city, for example, because, well, the sport just wasn't really that popular. And then Landon Donovan came in, made it popular, at least lit a little spark. And then, because of its popularity, it did get quite a bit more colleges, and is now, like, catching on in elementary, middle school, and high school. Like, it's really starting to catch on as a sport. And it is starting to catch on as college as well. And only recently has it been, like, starting to develop in the pro men's. That's what they mean by, like, USA is not a serious soccer country. Like, we are. It's just we're not really good at the pros, you know. We're not really good at the professional level quite yet. Like, we have the capabilities, don't get me wrong, those players have the physical capabilities of being really good. It's just we gotta figure out how to use it in our environment, you know, the environment that we have in our own country first before we actually go out and do that. But I can't say the same for the national team because I honestly have no idea what they're going to really do with that. Other than, I guess they hope they do well. But anyway, yeah, Miami's just going to have to take that L. Papa Messi's just going to have to be okay with losing that game, you know? Like, it wasn't like an extreme amount, but it was still like, you lost the game, you know, you gotta fix something, or whatever. Because, you know, the World Cup is next year as of the recording of this video. So, there's that. But yeah, if you want to go watch the highlights, you can. I'll have it linked in the link below if I can. So, yeah, I guess I'll see you guys later. And just remember, stay ugly.